Welcome to the road to 1 million US dollars. Let's get right into the Bitcoin chart for today, starting on this 4-hour time frame for Bitcoin, because currently we are still trading inside this big level of support, but are now reaching the very bottom of this big level of support here, sitting between 62.4K and 60,000 US dollars for the Bitcoin price. And besides that, we are also still below this descending trend line that I talked about in yesterday's video. So the base expectation here is that so long as we do not break out above this descending trend line, that we're basically just going to keep making lower lows and lower highs in the Bitcoin price. And if we really would lose this 60K level as a level of support, really it should be this 59.5K level. I will get to that in just a second. But if we would lose that as a level of support, then I think it is very likely that we are going to fall inside this next big level of support below that, sitting from about 58,000 all the way down to 56,000 US dollars for the Bitcoin price. Although there could also be some bullish signals confirming here sometime soon. One first bullish confirmation signal would be that breakout above this descending trend line. And for another bullish confirmation here, we need to look to the Fibonacci support and resistance levels. So above the current price, we have this Fibonacci golden pocket sitting between 62K and 62.7K and closing candles back inside this to basically reclaim this as a level of support would be a bullish signal in my personal opinion, because at that point we are reclaiming an important, even critical level of resistance, because I do think that breaking back above this Fibonacci golden pocket is the key thing to look out for right now in terms of a bullish signal in the charts. And if we take a look at these Fibonacci levels right here, you can see that this bearish divergence on the 4-hour time frame is still playing out with some bearish price action in the short term. And we have now also broken below that 0.382 Fibonacci level, sitting at about 61.2K. So for now, this is acting as a level of resistance, although you could look for a potential reclaim and move higher after that to reach into that Fibonacci golden pocket at about 62K that I was talking about earlier. In terms of support to the downside, we also have this 0.5 Fibonacci level once again on these Fibonacci levels, also sitting at 59.5K. And if we would lose this level, then it becomes very likely that we fall to this next Fibonacci golden pocket after that, which is sitting between 57.4K all the way up to 57.9K for the Bitcoin price. Now taking a look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, first of all, on this 2-week time frame, a few days ago, we grabbed a bunch of liquidity to the downside at about 62.2K. And now we are still tapping into this lower liquidity here at about 60,000 US dollars. So if we take a look at the 3-day time frame, you can see that again, we grabbed a bunch of liquidity here, again at about 62K, reversed, came to the downside, grabbed this liquidity at about 60K that I talked about in my recent videos. We have just been chopping around here, grabbing liquidity to the upside and to the downside. Currently on this 3-day time frame, most of the liquidity is sitting at about 59.7K. So you could see a sweep of this liquidity here and still hold that 0.5 Fibonacci level that I talked about earlier in the video. But again, guys, if we really lose that 0.5 level sitting at about 59.5K, then be warned, because I do think it becomes quite likely we go lower after that if we lose it as a level of support. Although for now, we are basically just inside this big level of support. And so long as we hold above 60K, a breakout above here to come grab a bunch of liquidity to the upside first is also possible. So if you actually see a breakout above that descending trend line, then look potentially all the way up to 62.9K or even 63.3K for the Bitcoin price to potentially grab all of this liquidity here, even if it is just with a wick. So keep in mind that we don't necessarily need to break the Fibonacci golden pocket to grab all of that liquidity here. You could just see a wick up to this level here and then just fall back below this Fibonacci golden pocket. Lastly, taking a look at the Bitcoin ETF flow tables for today. Yesterday, we saw another net outflow of about $64 million. And of course, so long as these Bitcoin ETFs keep selling hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin every single day, then obviously this is going to have a downwards pressuring effect on the Bitcoin price. So be warned about that. The Bitcoin ETFs are currently quite bearish and they are suppressing the Bitcoin price. Although if we now see the Bitcoin ETF investors flip bullish, then obviously it will have an upwards pressuring effect on the Bitcoin price once again. Just keep in mind that for now, the trend is actually bearish in the charts as well as from these Bitcoin ETFs. So as I started the video with, so long as we are not breaking out above this descending trend line, then we should expect this Bitcoin price to keep falling lower here. So those are all the key support and resistance levels that I am paying attention to in the charts right now. Hopefully it helped you out here. One last thing before I leave off here today, guys, I want to give a quick mention of these exchanges here that I have linked in the video description. I have linked to the 3 best exchanges that I have personally tested and traded on myself, and most of my community trades on these 3 exchanges as well. Now, why am I linking to 3 exchanges? It is because it depends on your location that you are on in the world and if you want to trade with or without KYC. So just look what is the best fit for you. Regardless, go check this out and you can get some awesome trading fee discounts as well as massive bonuses. The links are all in the video description, guys. If you want to trade with some lower trading fees, as well as get some of these massive benefits here simply for registering and depositing on these exchanges, then go check this out. Regardless, if you do end up checking out these exchanges or not, thank you for watching once again, and I will see you tomorrow in the next one.